What's going on YouTube? Northstar CDH here, and we have someone new. It's Leeveye. He's the one
Hi
that took
guys.
he's the one that took fourth place in our last CDH event, and he was on Glarb.
I
Um,
was.
we're gonna get right into
Um,
the deck tech. Obviously, we have some oddballs in here that we're not used to seeing, but we're gonna kick it off with Jeremy on Kinnan. So typical Kinnan stuff here. I guess Oko is different that we don't
yeah.
normally don't see.
Oko's not a typical thing.
No.
They're also doing Devoted Druid, and I'm guessing Machine God's Effigy is here too. Also not something that usually played by
Yeah.
Kinnan. But
Yeah.
I mean I get it.
There's
Pretty
Machine
simple
God.
1-2.
It's another
Yeah,
way
go
to
for it.
generate mana.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite.
True.
Um,
And also on the turn it like gets unsummoning sick, it's 4 mana, which is really strong. And I'm guessing that his choice for that is because he's also running all of these artifact tutors. Or
yeah,
not all of them,
there's
but at least some. He's got a Fabricate and a Tezzeret here.
I say there's also Walking Ballista, so we can just dump it into Walking
Yep.
Ballista and
And in
then
case,
just
yeah, that's
yeah.
so an easier thing. I'm guessing. I don't know the reason for it, because considering you have Cephalid Coliseum loops, you can do at instant speed, and that's what my only guess is he wants to just do that. It's just some easier ones, but seems good.
Mirage Mirror I'm always a fan of.
Yeah, it seems pretty good in our meta right now. We have a reanimator list. We got there's so many Kinnans and just like other things. There's Nixilis. There's so many big things that thing can copy.
Another Void Winnower for you.
Too many.
Oh,
Get him out of here. Get him
oh
out of
no.
here.
So yeah, I mean it's cool to see this. I'm glad he came out. He did well. All right,
Yes,
23
yeah.
lands.
23.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, he's got 3 MDFCs.
Yeah.
Which ones
That
is he on?
well, sinking in a super.
Oh, Disciple of Freyles is his third one. That's
Yeah.
actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it, but it's actually kind of interesting. It's nice to see a different Kinnan build than I'm used to.
Right. Something
It's pretty
other
nice.
than the typical Kinnan shenanigans that we're used to. Be like,
Right.
yep, this looks different. Wait a second. Hold the horses.
Yeah.
Hold the rein. We got
I'm
some
excited.
spice in
Nice.
here. So
That's nice.
super cool. Here we go. John. Different
All right.
John. Yuriko.
Yeah. It is a different John. He
Right.
is doing all the big Yuriko flips, which is to be expected.
Oh
But he
yeah.
also is doing a
Shadow.
lot of the stacks pieces.
I
With,
say
Totem Crafters and
roaming
Elrod.
throne in
Dude, that
Yuriko
card is so nuts. It's so gas. Oh my goodness.
it is painful to be against on the receiving side. It is disgusting.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Doomsday in here.
Yeah, I saw the Street Wraith and Git Probe, so he's also a fellow Doomsday enjoyer.
That's awesome. Commandeer, dig through time. Contagion.
I was in a game with him actually, this
Yeah?
Yuriko pilot, and one of the games we our only answer was for him to commandeer a silence because the other player had a Teferi in hand. And so that was the only thing that would have beat him, other than a counterspell, obviously.
Yep.
But that was so nice. I mean, that won me my game one, but after that, but it's fine. Yuriko seems pretty strong right now.
So 21 lands.
6 empty FCs. Oh, I love Yuriko. This is so silly.
I have questions. It involves 21 lands. And
he's got 6 MDMFCs, which is I think that might be all of the untapped ones actually, which is kind of sweet.
Like Seagate, Aghanim.
He's got Sink into
Vulgar,
Super.
yeah.
He's got Hydroelectric Specimen, the Bogart Trawler, which
fell into Profane. I suppose like the MDFCs are actually good in Yuriko because Yuriko trigger.
Yep. Yes.
So
and, like, they don't really care because they're also 2 colors, so they're not getting punished by their land base like at all.
Right.
So that's really good.
Right.
I do like their Curse of Darkness in their enchantment slot, which is kind of silly, just pretty much giving everything unblockable with fear.
My favorite is Cursed Totem. I love me the Cursed Totem.
That it hits so much in our meta. Like it's just so
it's
much.
fantastic.
So many Thrasia, so many Kinnan. It's super nice.
I love Cursed Totem.
Gas.
Cage is awesome to see.
Always a good tempo slot. It's doing what the
Bats.
Yuriko tempo thing wants. It's pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
he's on
hold on.
Thras.
Yeah, he's on Vats. Proposition Thief. There's so many cards that I'm not used to seeing because I'm not used to seeing a Yuriko deck.
Yuriko. Mm-hmm.
So this is all right. Hold on. What's going on? Oh yeah, Yuriko stuff. Oppo, OVM. Oh, there goes the dogs again.
Happy.
All
Ooh,
right.
they're on the Sakashima student.
Mm-hmm. All right, Matt.
Sissay. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was scary. This thing had an explosive start in my semifinal game. That
Oh, that's
was
right. You did
terrifying.
play against him. Yeah. The only reason like he didn't get there is because he was stuck on
And
lands.
yeah, he had 2 lands that entire time.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Otherwise, I think Matt would have got it.
And I heard after the game he had a Gigantha in hand, and he played a Marvin the previous turn. So
Mhm.
if he untapped, he won. But
Oh, for sure.
we can talk about the semifinals once it gets to me. That was
Fair
a fun
enough.
game.
So yeah, no, Matt. This is not his first time that we've seen his list.
He's done well with it before. He knows what he's doing. It's really
Well,
nice. I really like the new tech with the Jolly Balloon Man and all that other stuff after the bans. It's really cool to see.
Marvin too.
Marvin's so good. Marvin's so good.
Marvin's scary.
Yes, that thing is actually terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It enables so many things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's a reason I tech specifically against Sissay because it can win from nowhere and it has the value that Sissay has, like Urtai. Kethis is one that he's trying out. I know I talked to him after your match and he was trying out.
Kethis.
Yep. So it just helps with like casting your legendary spells and then
buying everything back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So like
cool.
some board wipes and then you slam Kethis.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. The deck kind of dies to a lot of board wipes, so that's actually really nice to be able to come back with that.
Right.
Especially outside of just Agatha's Soul Cauldron, that seems good.
Oh yeah. So speaking of Soul Cauldron, Orrery, all of his typical enchantments that we're used to seeing now.
The flowering of the white tree is really interesting tech. It stopped a lot of removal, which was really kind of frustrating in our finals game. But it was really sick.
Mm-hmm.
It gives a buff no matter what to your entire board with a white for the Sissay colors, and then just +1/+1 to the non-legendaries as well.
Yeah. I expect to see more of this list in the future for 2025. Unless Matt decides he wants to judge, because he just got his L1. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, he just got his L1 not that long ago. So there's a chance that we have a, I don't want to say a new judge, but another judge. So we may or may not see more Sissay depending on what Matt wants to do. So
Kona.
big dumb guys.
Big dumb guys. Oh my gosh, this deck is a monster to play against. It's like you cannot let his Kona trigger resolve, otherwise the game's almost over.
Yeah, it's so, and it's sad to say, like the best way for Kona is to make sure Kona doesn't hit the board. Now, obviously, like when he has the nuts and he just goes turn 1 Kona, it's a little difficult to answer.
For sure. He's definitely changed it up too. He's dropped some of his previous stacks pieces, or he also dropped Blightsteel, which is a little sad, but I get it. It kind of does nothing unless you get to your next turn.
Right, and that's the other thing too. Of like, you want stuff that has an immediate impact. Not saying Blightsteel isn't a threat, but short of Cocoon at Crossroads, which I think is bad because why do you want to give?
Yeah, that's bad. The meta's so green heavy now. It seems really bad.
Right. So, the Great Henge, I think that's new from last time.
No, that was there last time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He was drawing hot in his finals match with it. It was really fun to watch. Okay. You guys should watch that if you haven't. Pretty good game. Defense of the Heart's fun. That feels really good. There's so many creatures lying around. Just throwing anything you want is super solid.
Yeah, defense is awesome.
if you throw down like a Void Winor and like one other stacks piece, there's a good chance that the table's just locked down after that resolves. So pretty good.
I still want Burby to change this, but he won't for specific reasons. Bene
What is it?
Supremo.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Should.
Some of
He
us
so should.
some of us don't understand foreign language, and he
Come on.
he
It's only
purposely
French,
does
it's
this.
fine. Actually, I don't think that's French. I don't think that's French. Don't listen to me.
I mean, French and Spanish are very similar,
True.
but I would have to guess Spanish basically from the flavor text,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah. He had some pretty solid games. I heard he had a lot of games where he just locked down the board on turn 2, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard he was doing pretty good. So that's nice to see. As much as I
Yeah.
don't want to play against Kona, it's good to see it's doing well.
Right. I got a feeling this is we're only going to continue to see more Kona because on how disgusting
Yeah.
it gets.
More
So-
protection spells, probably.
Oh yeah, this is disgusting. All right, now we're finally on to Jared in the first of 2 Ob Nixilis decks, which I'm glad to see Ob.
I am too. Ob is sick. It's a scary deck. It's super scary, but it's nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking now. Do they have a double Ob pod in their semifinals too?
I don't think so. Yeah, because your pod was, yeah. So yeah, Cole, yeah, it was a double odd pod because it was Lucas, Burby, Jared, and Cole. So yeah, double ob. That's rough.
That is, yeah. I definitely see why an Ob got out of the game. In the Swiss rounds, that an Ob would have won if he got to untap, but we got to time when I was trying to push for a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely see why that thing runs out of control so fast.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully we see more ob going forward.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it too.
But molten duplication.
Doing the dual caster stuff. Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, yeah. We also got like mayhem double in here.
Treasure Nabber is fun. That's really sick. To help power out your Ob and your storm turns when you like impulse drew like 20 cards. That's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Flare duplication, just copying. Ooh, bolt bend. Interesting.
Bolt bend. Ooh. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. The deck is so commander centric. I get it.
Okay.
Any chance to
So
get free interaction
basically, when your ob is when you cast your ob, when you cast your commander, you have a 1 mana deflecting swat. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
here's
pretty
my
nice.
favorite, Rending Volley. I see you have a
Volley.
stacks piece. No, you don't.
No, none of that here, please. None of that here, please.
Oh, I love Rending Volley.
It does not kill Consecrated Sphinx, unfortunately. That's the only thing I have an issue with.
I feel like more people should respect a Braid just because of the destroy target artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Since
for sure.
Kona is a thing now.
Kona's a thing. A lot of the Devoted Druid combos revolve around artifacts anyways.
Right.
Like Swift Recon turns it into an artifact. Machine Gods is an artifact itself.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And honestly, a Braid might as well say destroy target creature in CEDH because there's not many things above a 3-but.
No, not a lot. Let's see, Grinding Station, and what's the other one that we work with? Grinding Station.
Underworld Breach goes with that.
Yeah.
So that's with their Mambers and their Mopals and such.
Mm-hmm.
Mill their deck.
Rolling Vortex is awesome. That
Yes,
one
it
I'm not
is.
used to seeing. All will be one is usually the combo that the Ob players go with. So all will be one and then Ob and then like any enabler.
Yeah, it just starts pinging the entire table.
Mhm.
That and Agatha's Soul Cauldron plus Walking Ballista.
Yep.
So he's got his nice combos to go with it. It's pretty nice.
And we're also in Bolas, the Citadel. That's awesome
I
to
did
see.
see that. That's really fun.
25 lands. I mean, we have a bunch of rocks.
There is a bunch of rocks, but going that low when your commander's likely to get blown out within its first turn before it gets an
Mhm.
activation, it's kind of scary. But I don't play OBS, so I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not.
I did get to play, well, before the bans, I got to play against Ob, and it
Mhm.
was definitely scarier when it's turn one Ob.
Yes, like Jewel Lotus turned it on so fast. So
Yeah,
fast.
Jewel Lotus into Ob Nixilis was disgusting, but the biggest
Mhm.
thing with Ob is basically just keeping it off the board, just like Kona. Keep it off the
Yeah,
board, and it's harder and harder for them to pay anything.
for sure. The difference between that and Kona is Kona can just honestly can sometimes just neglect Kona and just slam down his big beasties.
Mhm.
So it's a pretty fine play pattern. Is just like, okay, kill Kona 3 times. I'm just gonna start hard casting my Gulta.
Right,
Yeah, it's
right,
like, okay, what are you gonna do about it now?
right. Um, do we have? I just saw Bergie. I'm looking for. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So there used to be a line with Bergie and I don't want to say Breach because that doesn't sound right. It might be Breach. It might be Breach Grinding Station and Bergie.
I mean, grinding station already is gonna. I mean, that
Right.
could. I mean, it could be Bergie and a talisman or a signet also works with that because it turns that combo on because then you're mana neutral when you're milling.
Mm-hmm. But
So that could be it.
there was. I'm gonna go crazy now because I can't remember. I can't remember the exact line, but it was Bergie something else, and then like you basically just ping everyone because unless I'm thinking Dargo, it's probably Dargo.
It's probably you're thinking of Dargo then because
Yeah.
yeah. Bergie and Dargo go infinite if you have any sack outlet.
All right, Zach. That's your one shout out that you get. Hashtag Far North MTG.
I've recently started putting together a Dargo list myself. He's so explosive. The amount of
Mm-hmm.
mana you get is
Right.
super insane. Yeah.
All right, Trevor. All right, so Trevor's we're on Tivit here. Not our normal Tivit stuff, and this was, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah, he had proxies, but he was missing some of the proxies for the tournament, so he
Mm-hmm.
kind of started throwing in some of his own stuff. That's
Yep.
why you see some interesting cards like Marionette Apprentice and Mirkwood Bats and Nadir
Mm-hmm.
Nightblade,
Oh
which
yeah.
honestly doesn't sound too bad, especially if you want to go super grindy into late game. Gives you maybe an attrition second game plan. I
Right.
mean, obviously it's not very strong, but I mean, it got him top six, top 10 or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
So
You made top 10.
it's not like awful. Yeah.
So like it's more focused on the Tivit as far as making the
Mhm.
tokens. So that's where like all of this extra support comes through. So it doesn't even matter if you take the extra turns with time sieve that we have down in the artifacts, but we also have like anointed possession. Like we're gonna double this. We have smothering tithe.
It's
Um,
so funny.
yeah, we're just gonna double all of the our tokens that we make.
For
So
sure.
um,
It's very interesting. He's also clearly going faster. He's
mhm.
on Nas and both Necros,
the other
which is very interesting. Which is Tivit usually is trying to go for a very
right,
like a slower mid range control
right.
game plan, but this guy said, "Nah, I'm gonna go fast now." Actually,
Like
so that's pretty interesting.
the other thing too is like we're on a bunch of like blink effects. So cloud shift,
Mm-hmm.
ephemerate, fiend death. I'm gonna murder that
Feign
one.
death or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. I think
He's on like a mass flicker spell. Another round is what it's called. The sorcery.
that's where I was. I was looking. Yeah. So there's that.
Which is
So it's all
kind of
about
funny.
just flickering. Plus,
Mm.
like Academy manufacturer. Yeah. It's
He's on Tivit
all.
Storm. He's just gonna start flickering until the game's over. That's so fun.
Yeah. Like.
That works actually pretty well with the Mirkwood Bats and Marionette. Okay, I see what he's cooking. It's kind of cool. I kind of
Mhm.
like it. It's a really interesting Tivit list.
Yeah.
It's definitely not normal, but it's
Yeah,
nice.
it's not a normal Tivit list and made top 10, which is awesome.
Mm.
So clearly he's knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, I mean, which was funny because he said he's like in total, including his like semifinal game, he's only played 7 games of CEDH. So he was high rolling. He was gaming today or that day. It was really sweet.
Also, Treasure Vault
Also, Treasure Vault, yes,
because
and Seat of the Synod. Okay,
YOLO. Let's
so I'm
make
hoping
all
he's
of the
on Mox
tokens.
Opal. Okay, he's on Mox Opal. Okay.
Hmm. All of the tokens is
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing here. We don't care about dealing combat damage because we
No,
have
no, no.
Mirkwood Bats and Nightblade to do our dirty work
That's
for
right.
us, plus Marionette Apprentice. And then for all those people that, want to draw multiple cards, Ristic Study players are going to get
Oh.
punished, right? Those
Yeah,
dirty
for
Ristic
sure.
players. So,
Yeah, he loves the draw hate. He
mhm.
definitely does.
Yeah, no, I'm glad he did well. Glad he showed up,
Mm-hmm.
especially with
Especially for his
Tivit.
first tournament. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tivit's sweet. Tivit's
I
so
love
sweet. He
it. I
feels really
love
good in the meta.
I love Tivit. All right, Levi. We,
All
we've
right.
we've come to the frog.
The, the
It
very
it,
silly frog guy.
it is a very silly frog.
Glarb, 3 mana commander. He's pretty much just a small advantage engine in the command zone, so he allows you to sometimes take some greedy hands that are honestly sometimes I've taken hands where it's only interaction and I've won the game just because Glarb allows me to just grind everything. Surveil on upkeep honestly matters a lot because you sometimes need to dictate what you're drawing so you can actually have agency throughout the entire game, and pairs really nicely with if you can see my big guys of my consecrated sphinx and my little sleeper Valgavoth here. So he's the surveil comes in handy because he turns any top deck tutor or anything actually just into a nice little tap surveil entomb him, like similar to Grist 12 entombs, but it's just not eccentric on that. It's mostly, if you scroll to sorceries, a doomsday deck. This deck cracks doomsday piles like no other. You will not play any other deck. Yuriko's got nothing on this doomsday pile. I cast doomsday, and oftentimes you're not going to be able to interact through it. There are ways where there are doomsday piles where you don't cast any spells post doomsday, and you can still win the game. So oftentimes the silence, I try to politic people to silence me in response, say, hey, I can't do anything if you silence me with that ranger captain. And then everyone else is locked out of interaction, and then I just slam my Lassatep Quarry, which is a nice little land drop, which is really important with Glarb, because if after you Doomsday, you play Lassatep off the top, surveil the Thoracle that's beneath it, and then you crack the Lassatep for 4 total mana, and then you get a copy of it that includes its devotion, and so that's 3 cards left in your library. The 2 from Thoracle devotion, and then 1 from Glarb is a win right there. It's really nice. I've taken things out of the deck since this tournament. I've evaluated certain things. I've only on 1 reanimation spell, which feels weird, but it's been working out pretty nice. Other than those 2, other than that, we're obviously on the normal Thoracle, Decon, Tainted. Other than like the reanimation and stuff, and the obvious Thoracle wins and Doomsday wins, which all are Thoracle. We also have a Valley Flood Collar and Retraction Helix combo. Now, you might be looking at that and be like, okay, that doesn't do anything. You don't have an infinite mana outlet. But Flood Collar specifically says he untaps all birds, frogs, otters, rats. And so Glarb is a frog. So if you have an unsummoning sick Glarb and something you can do the Retraction Helix thing on, now I'm on Kitsa, so there's another target other than Flood Collar and Birds of Paradise. If you slam it on there, you tap it, return a mana positive or a mana neutral rock. You can start rotating through your entire deck, surveilling everything away until you hit either the One Ring if you have a mana positive rock, which you can cast off the top, and then you can start drawing it, bouncing it, cast it, untap, and then do that loop to draw the rest of your deck. Or you can go for a Finale of Devastation to just go X is a billion, or cast it off the top, which you can do because it's an X spell, which is really nice with Glarb. X equals 2, you just get Thoracle from your library, or if you surveilled it into your graveyard, it still grabs from there, so you can do that, which is really nice. And then after that, after the ETB's on the stack, you just start surveil the rest of your library into your graveyard, and save another one like that.
So like the Valley Flood Color Kitsa line, I been advocating to others that like how good it
Yeah.
is. Like you
It's strong.
just well, you're doing the Valley Flood Collar line of like, all right, just bounce at the rocks and whatever. But if you have Kitsa out, you're also
Yeah.
um
Looting the
going
entire time.
yeah, you're looting through your entire deck.
Yeah.
You have a way to draw as long as you're not hellbent. You can run
Yeah,
this
yeah,
like
yeah.
the very few times where you're actually going to be hellbent. That's where it's bad. But at the
Mhm.
same time, is like you're more often than not going to have at least one card in hand, and
Yeah.
you can if someone tries to do something, you can always do this in response because this is all at flash
Yeah,
at instant
exactly.
speed. All right, I'm gonna respond to and do whatever. All right,
Hmm.
on top in response to everything, I'm gonna go through
Cast
my.
any free spell, untap the dude, and then restart the tap and return combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty hard to interact with. There are key points where there's points where you're only supposed to interact then at certain points throughout the loop, because otherwise you'll just get blown out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened in the boil where people were trying to interact after he tapped to return something. Not good. You're supposed to respond to him casting something with the untap triggers when you're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to
Right.
either counter the spell or kill the creature or whatever it may be.
Right. And that's the only downside to it is now that people have figured out where to
Yeah,
interact with this combo. Expect that more people are going to be prepared for it. It's
for sure. For sure.
it's something that is just good enough that most decks should run it. Not
I
all.
think it's strong. I think it's strong, especially with how long games seem to be going and like the metas where you just win on top of somebody else. It's just
Mm-hmm.
an extra thing, and even at the worst, you're playing it as a one mana removal piece, which
Mm-hmm.
seems fine. Honestly, I think it seems fine.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
Oh yeah.
One thing with the deck, if anyone wants to play Glarb with a Tainted Pact or Ad Nauseam, which I'm not on for my own personal reasons, if you cast your Tainted Pact, as you're flipping through, you're allowed to look at the next card before you exile it, because Glarb lets you look at any time, similar to Citadel. So it turns your Tainted Pact into really strong effects, especially if you're trying to go for a Force of Will or a Mind Break Trap. You can
Mm-hmm.
stop the card before to keep a card and then cast it off the top. It's just so many random things you can do with Glarb. Top deck manipulation is super strong.
Right. So I expect more people on Glarb for future
Oh
events.
yeah, I've seen in our Discord. There's a couple of people, two or three people came up to me and talked to me about it. And I was like, yeah, I almost brought Glarb to this event, but I just didn't have the proxies or the practice. It's really cool to see, and then showing that it can top four, which is really
Right.
nice. I'm glad to
Right.
show that it's a capable deck.
I say now that you're finally playing a good deck.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Time is no more for me. No more for me. Silly.
So my only question,
Mhm.
29 lands.
Yeah.
Why that specific number?
So I've gone on and off about this. I'm only on one extra land effect, or exploration effect, I should call them. And so I'm trying to keep a relatively high land count because the advantage of playing one land from the top of your library is essentially drawing one card.
Mm-hmm.
So any time I can prioritize cast or playing a land off the top is huge for the deck, because I mean you're just seeing one extra card, which is huge. Like being
Right.
able to say as a game action draw a card you can't respond
Right.
seems pretty strong.
Um, the other thing that I'm gonna spec huge on right now is Cavern Souls, especially with the
Oh my
I would
gosh.
say more creature heavy meta that we've shifted to post ban. So I'm not gonna spoil the finals and whatnot, but there was a instance where a uncounterable creature card was the deciding factor of winning the game. So,
Yeah. There was counter spells in hand to
mhm,
fight it, and he didn't have anything to back it up, but
right. But
it
there
happens.
was a uncounterable creature spell. I'm specking hard that Cavern of Souls is going to see more play. Uh,
Tavern is so gas in this deck. Like, and anything of relevance in this deck that isn't a dork is a wizard,
right,
pretty much. So good.
right. And then, really, the first time we saw Cavernous from Tivit, um, and that was from Comedian first did that because he did one of the bigger events where he put Tivit on the map and people started to play Tivit, and was when he was doing Cavern Souls. And the problem with Tivit is it's 6 mana and it's really hard to cast. Well, if you have Cavern Souls and you use that uncounterable mana for Tivit, you have an uncounterable Tivit. Nothing.
You just get your 2 mana open. Yeah.
Right. Well, not only that, but you have a 6/6 flying ward 3 or 4. There's not a. I think it's ward 4. There's not a lot of things that can handle a Tivit to start with.
Oh my gosh, it's like almost impossible to kill. It's almost never worth a mana.
Right. I'm willing to bet we're gonna see more Cavern Souls going forward.
I hope so. The card's gas.
Mm-hmm. We're back to Nixilis.
Obnix is back, hell yeah.
So yeah, this one.
Pingertons took my Lotus.
Yeah.
Such a good deck name. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. So
I'm high on Ob. Ob seems pretty solid. It's a very nice aggressive
Parasite, Cataract Parasite, sorry.
Oh my gosh. I had a game when I was against 2 of them. There was I don't know if it was Cataract Parasite, but there was 3 things that punished you from drawing cards, and I could not believe that we were like even alive still. It was so insane. Like anytime anyone drew, it was Ob reveals 6 cards between the 2 Ob players.
There's a couple differences already. Like this one's on Adnaz. I believe this one's on Reanimate. Jessica's Will.
I don't think either on those.
This one is
I don't think either on. I might be blind. Okay. There's the
Cole.
Nas. Okay, I see.
Sorry, Cole.
Okay, yeah.
Cole.
I see the Nas. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on Sonhath. That's fun. That's really sick. You can just any pinger you want. If they try to remove it, you just get okay. I'll have 2 of them now. Thank you very much, and your removal's gone. That's fun.
Yeah, both were on Prosper Tomebound, which is really good for the deck.
It produces so much. Oh, he's not on All Will Be One. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
probably too slow for him. I see.
I mean, I would say this is more of the aggressive approach. Get Ob out as fast as possible and get all the pingers.
He's on a extra board wipe, but with Delayed Blast Fireball, which you don't have to foretell, which is super nice. You can just go 3 mana, deal 20 to each thing, or whatever it is. 5.
Yeah, Razorkin is silly in this deck.
Oh my goodness, that thing is so strong. I like it. I like his list.
Almost all of his creatures are pingers.
His list looks a lot lower to the ground, which is pretty nice.
It's all pingers.
I already have like all of my 2 mana creature. Anything I play before Ob is already online, getting me value no matter what you do. Seems good.
All right,
on the Untimely Malfunction. That seems very good.
Scrawling Crawler.
That one's good. Scrawling Crawler.
Each player draws a card, and then where is it? Needlehead. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Needlehead deals 1 damage to them. Triggers Ob. So as long as Scrawler and Needlehead are out with
Scrawling Trawler also pings them for drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get it just automatically is like, okay, on my upkeep, Impulse 3. Super good.
Like the value is insane. This is crazy.
I'm not sure how I feel about giving my opponents up 3 cards, but
no. The value
Right.
The value that you're getting though when Ob is out, like, yeah, you're giving your opponents a card, an extra card, but you're getting, you're exiling, if you have Needlehead, Crawler out, and Ob out, that would be, 3, 6, 9, 18?
Yeah, that's a lot of value. It's hard to pass up.
You're exiling 18 cards versus their 3. I will take that all day long.
Honestly, if you can get off that with no interaction, you're probably winning the game that turn. So that's pretty good. I think I like this Ob more. It's a lot more like trying to win. You're not on the All Will Be One, which is down 1 combo, but he's upper ritual.
Conqueror's Flail. That's his protection.
Yep, He's on Waste to Protect His Wind, and
Uh,
Hope of Girapur. And Hope of Girapur. He's on the Praetor's Grasp, so if he's going through the a mana neutral loop with his Underworld Breach, he can always pivot, steal a Thoracle, and cast it. So that's there. Which I don't know. I don't know if you could do that because he's not on. I don't know how he's gonna get his blue mana, but you never know. Exotic Orchard and Felwar.
yeah. The only thing that he's not on here is Cavern, which I think Cavern might be the one exception for Ob. So we're gonna do Grinding Station, Breach, Unstable Amulet, Soul Cauldron.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to see more of it. Ob's is fun deck. It's not like it's not at all meta, or it's good, but it's not like any of these TNTs or Kinnans or whatever. It's a very unique deck that plays cards nothing else does, which is really nice to see.
He's not on Defense Grid, and he's not on Mayhem Devil.
Interesting.
I mean, he's got Conqueror's Flail.
I mean, I get the no Mayhem Devil. I get that. That makes sense. But it's very interesting. I would love to hear his reasoning at some point between these cards, because I see he's on certain ways to protect his wins, and like he's going for like ad nauseam ways to just turn out a potential win comparatively to the other list, which is looks to be grindier.
I don't even see the Molten Duplicate.
No? Yeah. That thing's crazy.
Molten Duplicate, one of the pingers, like Crawler or Needlehead.
Cast a wheel or whatever it is.
Right. And just
like, all right,
game over.
Do we want to concede, or you want me to manually storm my way through this?
Right.
Excited to see it. Hope to see more of him.
Yeah. Like, not spoiling the final table, obviously, but I think if he had a different hand, it would have been a different story. So
probably. Our next list.
Zeekers. The one.
I'm so excited. So excited about this list.
So Zeekers is strictly on Rog Thras. That is his baby at this point.
Oh, for sure.
He is big in the Rog Thras community in the Discord world. Definitely. Where he and others are advocating that Rog Thras is a thing and is a real threat. And
yes, it is, dude.
Absolutely. I'm fairly certain this is the exact same list that he took to the Boil 2 and did a top 16.
So well. I cannot believe he didn't win that game. That you guys should see that list. He performed so well that tournament.
Right. And it was that one, like, it wasn't even like a full turn. It was just all the interaction on top of everyone, because like he went to go, all right, I need to do something. And everyone's like, OMG, Rog Thras is going off. Rog Thras is going to win. We need to go on top of this. And that is why he only made top 16, is because the two other blue players went on top of him. Like,
he played it really well, even throughout all of their winnings, or like all throughout their wins. He flashed Cyclonic Rift, which he could overload, which let him see, like, I think maybe 2 players' hands, which was super well played and very well politicked.
Oh yeah,
he's very well at talking. I've only played a couple of games with him, and I've always been impressed by the way he speaks about the game and like how he's talking about it. It's really good.
Oh yeah,
I'm good. I'm so happy to talk about his list though. I love Rog Thras. Out of solidarity, I don't play the deck, even though I love it so much. We already have a great Rog Thras player in our community.
Right.
And someone I play with regularly wants to pick the deck up, so I'm like, all right, I'll let you have it for now. But I want to do some Valley Flood Color shenanigans myself with Glarb until someone else puts down this deck so I can pick it up.
And he's also on the Kit's Valley Flood Collar.
Which is, go for it.
Yeah, no, he was, I want to say he was one of the originals on advocating for Kitsa. And then it's just, I reread Valley Flood Color because everyone's like, oh, it's Valley Flood Color and, where'd it go? Retraction Helix, and then you just do any positive, and then you've got Thrasios. Well, if for some other reason that, like, someone, deals with Thrasios, you still have Kitsa.
Yeah, right?
Like,
it's just another outlet.
You don't need Thrasios.
And he's also not... Yeah, go for it.
Where, like, for example, the Devoted Druid line, you need Thrasios.
And as well as his Kitsa's not even dead outside of that. I mean, obviously, the deck's honestly pretty centered around some of its lines of getting Valley Flood Collar just because of his other card selections, but he's also on Dramatic Reversal, which is another win with Kitsa, where as long as you've cast one other spell other than it, if you let the Prowess trigger resolved with Kitsa after you cast the Dramatic Reversal, then you can tap 2 to copy it, and as long as you have 2 or 3 mana around, you can start infinitely copying it and doing everything you could ever want.
Right.
It's really cool. I love Rog Thras. He's also doing the Song of Totentans, which is such a strange card, and I'm glad to see that people have found a use for it. With a Flood Collar, he untaps the rats, and so if you have Enduring Vitality, and if you put enough mana into it, at a certain point, you're like, with your Thrasios, you're manually storming throughout your deck where you just cast one spell that you revealed, and then you untap like 5 rats or whatever, and then you tap them more for mana. So good. It's such a fun line, and so many cool things you can do.
The other thing too of like sneak attack, there's been instances where he said that I want to say it was from the Boil, like before Cut to Top, where like sneak attack actually came out. It was useful, and that's why he got the win, was because he was able to sneak out a creature. And it the biggest thing that we're looking for is this creature gains haste. That is the important line of text. So,
or even just like paying 1 red mana, getting a what is it called, a Hullbreaker Horror into play, like a 1 mana Hullbreaker. I mean, come on. We're winning the game. We're winning the game at that point. Come on now. Such a fun list. I see he's on Kinnan, no Basalt, which honestly, I kind of agree with. I've played the deck a little bit. The Kinnan Basalt felt weird, but Kinnan felt super strong. So I like that. The deck is super layered. There's combos we're not even going to be able to talk about because they're random things throughout the deck. The deck's sweet. I like it a lot. I love how centered around Gaia's Cradle it is. Like, you can see, the land package in this deck is so sweet. Shifting Woodlands, a super strong card, copying a failed breach attempt for whatever reason. Your Hullbreaker Horrors, it turns your Intuition piles to insanely hard to deal with, because at some point you're just kind of giving them a combo piece. It's either you give them the combo piece or you give them Shifting Woodlands to get it uncounterably. So, okay. It's really hard to interact with. It's nice.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the Malevolent Rumble and Underworld Breach lines that you get to do, where you mill 4 cards, so that leaves you 1 more with what's it called, with your Breach. And as long as you have like Earthcraft in a land that produces a green in another, you tap the Scion it makes. But you only need a force. You tap the Scion and sacrifice it, recast it, get 1 more card in your yard. Really love that line.
Oh yeah, there's so many lines in here, it's ridiculous. And then it's the hardest thing to learn about the deck, like even TNT is this way, of the combos come up and they're very situational, as like, oh shit, I have a win in hand. All right, we'll go this. I haven't even thought about it, and it just comes to you. So
yeah,
it's very versatile as far as being aware of like what's on the board, because you're not specifically, you don't need to go Kinnan, you don't need to go Devoted Druid. You have all these different lines in here that, hey, we're gonna go this route this time. So it's harder to interact with as far as like planning of like, oh shit, he's going here. All right, you stop this. All right, finally gets back to my turn. How about another win attempt? Can he deal with this one? No?
Yeah.
All right, good game.
My first game against him, he had a turn 2 Hullbreaker Horror, which was disgusting in its own right. But even after that, his following turn, he tried to present 2 wins, and we couldn't deal with it because he presented theoretically 3 wins with the Hullbreaker.
Yeah.
After it got removed. It was so good. He pilots the deck so well. It makes me want to play the deck. He's so good at it. It's so fun to watch.
All right. Now we get to the elephant in the room. Mr. Consistent himself. I know.
TNT. Get him out of here.
Dynamite.
We need to get a house ban on this guy. No more of him, please. Ethan's too good at this for me.
Like, we just need to get him, like, to other areas so he can just, like, pub stomp everyone else. Literally.
Dude,
because...
Please. Give him a job, like, offering from, like, Alabama or something, please.
I mean, the crazy part is, like, we already have a couple that have started to go to the Dakotas.
Oh, yeah.
There's talk of going to Wisconsin now. And it's at the time of, like, I'm not going to say the individuals that have been going out of state, traveling to different areas. But they're, like, they're, like, the last South Dakota tournament that they went to, 3 out of the 4 top 4 were from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like,
it was so funny to hear.
Come on. And one of them that got the top 4 was his pet deck. Not even his tournament deck, but his pet deck.
Yeah.
So...
And he's done well with that deck as well. He's gone to... I don't know if it was South Dakota last time, but I know he's gone out of state once or twice before, and he won one of the events in top 4, the other, I believe.
Yes.
Like, he's very proficient at what he does. I'm not going to say it because I don't want anyone else to know what he's doing for his own sake. It's really
right.
fun
We're not going to spoil the fun just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely his pet deck, and he's very good at it. And I know there's been last time I got to play against him, I was obviously playing my pet deck, and I had to work very hard to stop him from doing anything. And there was a little bit of frustration from him that I noticed because of me solely dealing with him.
Yeah, so. You have to tempo him out. You have to. But back to our little TNT friend.
Mm-hmm. I may or may not have been in discussions with Mr. Consistent about like TNT because my backup deck is the Boil 2. And I've finally was able to figure out who the pilot was, so I have him on Discord, and he's doing a lot on the Discord community as well. But sweet. Going to this list, there's like 2 or 3 cards that are not the same, and that's about it. So this is very close to the Boil 2 list.
Yeah, I mean, and I trust both of them. Ethan, super good in our meta. He's well known for it. His name is Mr. Consistent, consistently top 4. Well, since I started playing in tournaments, I think I've only seen him not top 4 one event that he was playing in. But even then, it was a cut to top 4, and it was a smaller event, so I made sense.
Well, his Mr. Consistent is from being able to consistently top, make the top cut. And his conversion rate is stupid.
And his win rate as well. I mean, it's so impressive.
Last I looked, his conversion. Pull up his conversion rate. I want to say it was like 86%. Is absurd. Yeah. There's a reason he is called Mr. Consistent. He is a very good pilot. He can take, I don't want to say any deck because he's not comedian level, but he can take...
No, it's comedian.
I don't know. There's definitely some people that could give comedian a run for his money in our meta, and I'm willing to put money on that. And, Ethan being one of them, for sure. So...
I'm looking at
Ethan and Zeke, right to be more specific. Those 2 can give comedian a run for his money.
What the hell? He's got an 88% conversion rate.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So he's been to almost every Minnesota CEDH tournament, and there's only been one that he didn't get top, and that's the one that we did a top 4 instead of top 10. Just because it was a smaller event. He placed 7th. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. His list is top four, top four, top four, top four, top four, top four, first, seventh, third, sixth, first.
Hmm.
How do
That's
they
the
make
other
these
thing
people?
too with giving him the Mr. Consistent name is for a long time he couldn't finish out a tournament. And so the first one
Mm,
he got first was the Underground Sea, the first one that we
yeah,
did.
that was a
And
fun
so
game to watch.
that's the one where he finally broke the curse.
Yeah, that was it
So
was so super fun. I mean, it was really well deserved. He did very risky line. I mean, he didn't get punished for it, but still, it was really fun to watch.
and he was even saying in the Discord that like he did a misplay and whatnot, and thankfully it didn't punish him too hard, unlike my
Yeah.
misplays where I just get full curb stomp punishment. So, but no, back to TNT. So basically, the Boil 2 list is the hardest. I mean, we got combos in here, kind of like Rog Thras, where it's basically Rog Thras, but we have black for all the good tutors. Um,
Yeah.
and then obviously white for the silence effects, Grand Abolisher, Drannith Magistrate, Ranger Captain.
Mhm.
The cool thing with like Ranger Captain is you can go grab Mockingbird or Delighted Halfling. Um,
Yeah. Get
so
another Ranger Captain if you
yeah,
want with your Mockingbird.
so yeah, here's the line in the is Eldritch Evolution that I was talking about earlier. Is Eldritch Evolution any creature? It doesn't matter. You could do Polywake Prodigy, you could do Mockingbird, whatever. You Eldritch Evolution that away, grabbing Thoracle to go grab Demonic Consult, or if you have Demonic Consultation or Tainted Pact in hand, that's another line. And it just
Mhm.
dawned on me, and like, wait a second. And that was
Yeah.
just a couple days ago where I was like go basically goldfishing. But the other thing too is like hey, Hazel's Brewmaster with Devoted Druid. There it is in the graveyard. So you're
I mean,
um,
yeah, even then, his Eldritch Evolution provides if you have the Devoted on field, if you
mhm.
cast Eldritch Evolution sacrificing it, you can go and get the said Brewmaster. And
Mhm.
because you sacrifice a part of the cost, you just exile it, and then you
Right,
have the
right.
infinite mana there.
The only
And
thing is this one we're
mhm,
not on Kitsa. We did not put Kitsa in here
that
from the
makes
Val.
sense. Yeah, I get that with this list. There's two. I mean, in these colors, there's so many. I mean, honestly, there's probably better things you can do than Kitsa because you're not getting any immediate value with it
Mhm.
because your deck's not built around the flood color stuff other than his banishing knack. I think he's chose to be on. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Banishing
yeah,
Knack over Retraction Helix.
yes.
It's the same card.
It is. Yeah, it's the same thing as Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elves. It's a
Hmm.
name card different.
So yeah, but it's basically a creature combo list that is looking to generate infinite mana, and you have our outlet Thrasios in the command zone. Generally,
Hmm.
we're gonna play Thrasios over Timna. Timna is realistically there for the colors, but we also have Timna's ability for the grindier games. Um,
For sure.
so
I mean, one thing with her as well is just back on Eldritch Evolution. One last final thing. I mean, she's a 3 drop to go get your 5 mana Seedborn Muse if you Eldritch
mhm,
Evolution her. So, I mean, it's the same thing as what is it, Dawn Waker? Except for you don't do the Neo form, you just have the Eldritch Evolution
mhm.
for it. So,
Yeah, no, I mean this is a proven list and it's proven again.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Time and time again, it shows itself off.
uh-huh. This is like I said, it's basically identical to the Boil 2.
Nice.
Hopefully someone finds an answer for Mr. Consistent.
I'll do my best.
So, but yeah, that being said, our next CDH event is January 25th, right there. There it is. Right here. Yeah. January
Nice.
25th in Monticello. First place is a tropical island.
Come out, guys. Our meta strong. Test your skills. I promise you. These people are gonna surprise you. We have
Right.
high class players. We have
Right.
people who have topped the boil. Ethan, I mean, he won
Zeekers.
the event. Yeah, Zeekers is insane. Ethan is also insane. I don't know which is better. I don't care. Either way, they're on a similar level. Like
Right.
there's some strong players in Minnesota for sure.
Oh yeah. The one that we didn't see was
Eric.
Eric, sorry.
Eric is
Eric
scary
on
player.
Eric on Talion is scary. Not
Yeah,
just because when he goes to untimed rounds, it's usually a longer game, which Talion likes to start with, but he is a very good pilot as well. So
great talker. He knows what he's doing.
And then one that's been a while was Nick, who is arguably the best Sissay pilot that we have. How he pilots Sissay is incredible, and that's why I think Matt went to Sissay is because of Nick. And Matt's been finally doing better because he's got more reps on it. So
top 16 here. Like he knows what he's doing. He's
right.
Top 16 last event too, I believe, right? Was that last event? Either way, he top 16 another event previously.
Yeah, he made top cut. So no, I'm super grateful for everyone for 2024. It's been a heck of a year, and this is only the first year for Minnesota CEDH, which is incredible. And 2025 is going to be even better. I've got plans in the future that hopefully, fingers crossed, that come January 25th at our next event, there's going to be a big announcement. So I'm fingers crossed.
Let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
That'd be awesome.
There's going to be some big news. So 2025, we're only going to be better, hopefully bigger. I want to see our first gold top deck event. We've been doing a lot of work in the community as far as getting people to recognize that Minnesota is, really big in CEDH, and it's 2025 is only going to be bigger and better. So I can't wait.
It's been an amazing first year of CEDH for me. It was very fun.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy year. So next year is only bigger and better. So I'm excited. Thanks for coming on, Leeveye. I do appreciate it. I truly do.
Of course. I'm always welcome to, as long as I do well in the event. Otherwise, I might be too embarrassed.